Who?
3, 2, 1.
Hi,
we're the
interns.
Okay. Hi,
We're we're boarding interns? We can say we're boarding interns
Yes.
at Tampines House.
Yes.
Okay.
We're
Hi,
we're the boarding interns, and this is our last day. Hi, my name is Marcel. I'm 24 years old. I'm a student at the University Duisburg-Essen in Germany. I'm German-Polish and I study English and history to become a teacher in Germany. Yeah, I think that's it.
Hi, I'm Yeliz. I'm 23 years old. I live in Germany, but I'm Turkish, and I study English and German at the University of Duisburg-Essen. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm an intern here, which means that I'm basically doing the jobs house parent and an assistant house parent would do, mainly taking care of the students and doing pastoral care.
What does this internship mean to you, and how has that changed over the 5 months?
In the beginning, it basically just meant for me to finally finish my bachelor's, get what was left behind done, and just go to Singapore, have fun. But I think it changed a lot while I was here, because I didn't think that this community of students here, the boarders, would have such an impact on me. But now, I know it has changed into so much more than just an internship and just getting my bachelor's done, because not once did I think about that when I was here. It was more about the kids and the community and the experience in general.
How did you find out about UWC?
One of my favorite professors in university, he's the one organizing the exchange with the UWCSEA, and he made a presentation about the internship here in one of my seminars. I actually didn't really know what or where Singapore was before I heard about this internship. So after the lesson and the presentation, the first thing I did was check up on the entire UWC and Singapore. And since I'm very interested in Asia, I decided to apply for that.
It's pretty similar to Marcel's story. I had a course with the professor who organizes this whole exchange, or this whole internship between our university and the UWCSEA. And I saw a little advertisement in one of his online courses, and I thought, why not apply? Because it was COVID, so I just applied, and that's how I found out about the school, because I genuinely didn't hear about it before. So yeah, I looked it up. It sounded very promising, so that's how I found out a bit about it.
And what was your reaction when you found out that you were accepted into the program?
I was very overwhelmed. I couldn't believe it, because first they sent you an email that you got an interview with the professor, and then you have to wait again, and then they'll tell you that you've been accepted. I was very shocked. I didn't tell my mom about the interview beforehand, so she didn't even know that I was considered. So when I told her, I was a bit scared as well after I found out, because I didn't know how she would react. But overall, I was very happy to be accepted, because that meant that I could finish my studies, but also have this great opportunity.
What is one word that would describe your emotion when you first arrived?
Overwhelmed.
Stressful.
Do you remember the first person you encountered when you first arrived?
Yes, I do. It was Marcel Campbell, the director of residential living, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because we had to quarantine when we arrived here, she has had to show us our rooms, and we were actually not allowed to meet any other students or a person working on the campus, so we had to self-isolate first, and she was the first one I met from the boarding house. It was very fun.
It was Marcel Campbell. She picked me up outside because I wasn't allowed to interact with anybody because we have to isolate. So she took me to my room, and then after that we communicated through the closed door. It was very funny because my internet didn't work, and then we had to find out why, and it was a very funny experience for my first night after such a long flight.
What is your most interesting experience during your 5 months here?
I would say the 5 months as a whole, because every adventure I took exploring Singapore was extremely interesting, and every day was very different, and all the experiences were so diverse, and every day in the boarding house was special in a way too. So I think the entire experience was interesting.
Culture in general, food, yeah. But yeah, in general, like the culture and how friendly and open the people here are. Yeah, that's probably what I was most.
What will you miss most about Singapore?
I will miss most about Singapore that it's basically like a salad of cultures. You have so many different cultures mixed into one place, and everybody still keeps their identity to them and celebrates their identity as well. So yeah, and just dipping into every culture a bit to find out a bit about them is what I'm gonna miss most.
What will you miss most about the boarding house?
Okay, so if you look at the multiculturality of Singapore on the large scale, this boarding house is basically doing it perfectly on a smaller scale, just with so many more different cultures and backgrounds. Yeah, that and tea time.
The community in general, like the feeling of going out of my room and having 150 students there, always having someone who will have a chat with you, just hanging around you guys, and yeah, that's.
And what was your best experience during this journey?
On the first day when I came out of quarantine, Rob showed me around the house, and we went to the 14th floor, and I just looked out the balcony and saw the skyline of Singapore in the background of all the HDBs and the huge and giant sports field. Yes, that was very shocking and overwhelming. It was very beautiful. I really still enjoy that view.
What has been your best highlight of this journey?
I think like it's a lot of like small moments, but one that will always stay with me, it will be my birthday, because the boarding house, they surprised me with a little party. I think Rob was the one who organized it all. I didn't expect it, so I was really shocked and very, very grateful for it, and I think that will always stay in my memory because I don't know, it's just like it made me feel so loved and welcomed and just very appreciated it.
What is one thing you'll miss the most about Singapore and UWC?
That's a hard question. I don't think it's one thing in general, but like in general, I would say the boarding house and the community that comes with it. And about Singapore, maybe the weather, even though it's hard to believe that one would enjoy this heat, but Germany is cold, so the sun.
What I'm gonna miss about it is that we are, in a way, because we are younger than most of the other staff, we are perceived as something in between staff and the border, you know? And that makes us so much closer to the kids, you know? One of the house parents once said that we know the kids in a very different manner than they do. And I think this in-between is something very special, and I've really enjoyed it while it lasted.
Will you come back?
I hope so. People want me to come back in May for graduation. That won't happen. I can tell you that. I'm sorry. But I really would like to come back one day even if it's not to the boarding house, because maybe it's so far in the future that nobody I know will be here, but to Singapore in general, yes. And if there's still people in the boarding house I know, I will definitely visit.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.